Beads play a significant role to the Nigerian people's culture, fashion, artistic and economic expression. It can be dated back to the Nok culture around 900 BC to 2000 AD. The Yorubas are known for their spectacular beads materials. Hello and welcome to another interesting package on Showcase. On today's episode, I'll be showing you beads making and beads making as a business in case you want to start up a beads making business. I have a guest with me that will be putting us through this process. Sit tight and enjoy.
My name is Nkechi Ebubedike. I'm from Imo State. I'm married with 2 lovely kids, and I'm a graduate of Agricultural Extension and Rural Sociology from Federal University of Technology. I also have a master's in Agric Extension Economics from University of Abuja, and I'm basically an entrepreneur. Basically, I started bead making. That was what I started with 2012, and I was still a student then. I was in 400 level. Yes, and being in different location has helped my business because it gave me different diverse culture, because bead making has to do with culture. We have Igbo beads, Hausa beads, Yoruba beads. Different ethnic groups are involved in beads, so it gave me a broader scope. I learned bead making first, then I did bead making for like 3 years. I found out that society was, the demand for beads and accessories was beginning to drop, and I had to diversify into other handcrafted fashion accessories. And that was when I learned how to make fascinator, and then from fascinator I moved into otogele, different kinds of hair gears for different occasions. I started very small. Like I said, I was a student. I was doing my industrial training in Abuja, and I was a bit bored. So I decided, I've always had passion to create things. So one day I went to Use Market. I saw some people learning beads, and I made inquiries and I enrolled. And during the training, I started developing interest. I started with about 12,000 naira. That was what I paid back then for 2 weeks training. And since then, I was upgrading, and that was how the journey started. I had a passion, and then I was always on YouTube learning things on my own, and I was a fast learner. Like for my training in my shop, I do 1 month training because people learn in different pace. Some people 2 months, some people 2 weeks, but 2 weeks is like the least for you to like grab the basics and get interested in the business. I started training fully 2017. I've trained over 500 people, because I also train for NGOs. So they give me group people sometimes, and then sometimes I train in my shop. So it doesn't come yearly or monthly, sometimes quarterly, sometimes monthly, sometimes yearly. Currently, with the current inflation rate, I would say with at least 20,000, you should be able to start up. We're trying to say starting up small. With 20,000, you should be able to start. For the materials, then the training fee depends on who is training you. Yeah, I just had a sister that also loved beads, my other sister, and she was always, browsing the line and checking out beaded accessories, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And she showed me, and I just picked interest. I've always loved accessories. Like growing up as a child, my mom used to buy a whole lot for me. So it was inborn, kind of. Yes, I wasn't introduced by somebody per se, but I was inspired by someone. So to start a business in Nigeria, you must have a support system. Initially, when I was starting, I started with my savings as a student. I didn't even want to tell my dad because he's more of the academic kind of person, finish school, get a PhD. But along the line, when he saw that I was serious with it, He started helping me to go in terms of capital. Yes, sometimes he'll give me money. Okay, add to your business. Sometimes if he's traveling out, he takes my business, my bits out to showcase it to different people, and it helps to increase my customer base because he saw I was serious. So starting up, I didn't have much support, but along the line, I started getting support from family and friends. I come from a purely academic home. They believe in mostly books and education. So I'm like the only entrepreneur for now. But I'm inspiring them to key in because in Nigeria now, you need to have skills to survive. Even if you have a job, you need an extra source of income. Like in school, like you learn a lot, not just your field. So it helps me to be more exposed. It helps me to know how to manage other aspects of business in terms of finance, in terms of record keeping. But the field is not really interrelated. So, and then studying with different people, I also get to market myself with my classmates. So that is the only way it has really contributed. Jos is not really a fashion town. Like people who love my fashion accessories are usually either in Lagos, like I do a lot of Webios in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Abuja, and the East because they have a lot of Igbo weddings going on there. But Jos is more of like a mixed tribe state, so I don't think it will be doing this well for me. Agriculture and mineral resources. They have a lot of mineral resources in Jos. I might have keyed into one of them, or agriculture. Currently, I do agri consultancy for small agro companies. So I'm still practicing my field in some way. So if I was not doing this, I'll be solely back into my agriculture. During COVID, like I had to lock my shop for 8 months. It was not funny. My business had a decline, recorded the most frustrating year. That year was bad. So I've thought of shutting down, I've thought of closing up, but something keeps pushing. The drive to get to where you want to, especially when you aim at getting to be a global brand, the drive to create an impact in society, in terms of I know how many women that have been empowered from my skills, so it kept me going not to give up. But Nigeria is quite frustrating for SMEs. The support is not much from the government, and the little one you're trying to do for yourself, they try to frustrate it with different policies and all that. For instance, I wanted to start exporting. The exportation policies are a whole lot. I cannot carry it as an SME. So these are one of the discouraging factors. But regardless, we keep pushing. I'm an advocate of every woman should have her own source of income. Like I'm married. I started business as a single person. And getting married, I started appreciating the value of having my own source of income and creating my own source of income. One, it doesn't just give you respect. Two, it gives you an added advantage. Three, you're able to contribute in a home. And with the current situation, the high inflation rates, it's not possible, it's not easy for one person to pay all the bills, do everything. And then you have to have a sense of belonging. You have to do something for yourself. Like you can't sit and do nothing. For me, it's not fulfilling. So I encourage women, youths, never to be idle. And even abroad now, they're looking for skilled people, like skills as taking over education gradually. So whether you're educated or not, I have a medical doctor I trained on bead making. It was so surprising. She's like, I need extra source of income. So money is never enough. So you just have to keep doing what you have to do to augment. Time management. It's not been easy because my kids are still tender, 3 years and 2 years. And then I still have to be a wife, I still have to be a mother, I still have to be an entrepreneur. But the value of time has helped me. I try to delegate and I try to appropriate time for different things. If I'm not in the shop, I'm at home. If I'm at home, I'm in the shop. I make sure that none of them is lacking in my own little way. It's not been easy, but it's worth it. Number one challenge in this business is I keep saying policies. Yes, policies. The government policies are not friendly for the creative industry. Severally, I've gone for several programs that, like, I belong to some creative industry group that we've tried to voice out. The policies are not favorable. They are not supporting SMEs enough. They say they're giving loans, but by the time you go to apply, they don't even give it in a credible way. You that you need it, you won't get it, and they'll give someone else. So I feel, because most businesses, they need capital to scale up. If you don't have that capital and support to scale up, you will still remain in where you are doing your small thing. And if you don't scale up, you can't create employment. So number one is policies. Number two is materials. Most of our materials, from beads, from fascinators, they are all imported. We don't have anybody manufacturing them locally in Nigeria. So it makes them a bit too pricey. But if we had people who manufacture those materials locally, I think it will benefit us, because we'll buy it at a cheaper rate, and people will still buy product at a cheaper rate. Then secondly, environment. The environment, you have to, the role of social media has tried. Apart from social media, it's difficult to convince people to buy your market, especially in a place like Abuja, because Abuja is like a referral town. The support for people you don't know is not that huge, so your environment also matters. Basically, that's it. These are the challenges we are facing for now. Initially, I used to have my shop was at Kaura Market. So I wasn't so involved online, because it's a market. People must come in. But when I got married and moved to Gwarinpa is not so busy. Like, you see how many people are passed. So I had to leverage social media, Facebook, Instagram, GG, Marketplace. That's where I get bulk of my customers from. Then personal referrals from friends and family. So, like, my sales girl just resigned. Salary is no longer enough for her transport. So now the workload is much on me. We used to be two, now we're one. Secondly, trainings. Most of my students that want to train, oh, you're in Gwarinpa, oh, I'm in Local Guma, the transportation is much. So it has declined the revenue of my business. Even customers that regularly order for things, babes, there's no money, I can't afford it now. People are striving to survive. And this is fashion we're talking about. You have to eat before you dress. So the economy, the fuel subsidy removal, the high inflation rate is bringing a decline in revenue. Like, we're struggling to meet up with how we used to sell before. Like, I go for a lot of upgrade trainings, because every day new innovation comes out. And sometimes you have a proposal to train for a certain group. You have to show that you know what you're doing. So both capacity development, skill development. I've done trainings at different levels. Entrepreneurship is not just about learning skills and making it. It's holistic. Sometimes these entrepreneurs, we see the money, but we don't know where the money is going to. So when you go for such training, it teaches you how to structure. Like, we also did a training on legalization. You have to register your company. My company is registered. You have to pay your tax. You have to have a corporate account. You have to track your cash inflow. These are what the trainings will teach you, that where you're learning the skills you're not going to learn from. And then another advantage of attending entrepreneurship training is networks. It also increases your customer base, and you learn from one another as the time arises. Then, well, it's very helpful. No knowledge is a waste. Like, knowledge is power. So I advise all entrepreneurs to, there are free trainings. This one was free. It's online. Just keep being there and keep looking out for what you want, and the knowledge will definitely help to grow your business. Structures. Like, I have a lot of entrepreneurs, especially market women, They see the money every day. They're not structured. Some of them, their businesses are not registered. And then they don't channel the money back to business. Like, I keep educating some of them. You use your money, you solve one personal family problem. The next thing, you're back to square one. You're looking for money to stock up. Like, they're not structured. I feel every entrepreneur should learn should learn how to structure and leverage on structuring their businesses in order to scale up. That's one thing. The customer relationship. Some of them don't care. They don't know how to relate to customers because they are not trained on it. And it's very important because the way most of the clients I've had them since 2016. Like some NGOs I've been trained for them since 2016, and they keep saying it's not like you're the best though, but it's the way you relate with us. So that's one aspect entrepreneurs should look out for, how to relate to their customers. For me, I feel if you're a beginner, you can do online. But if you want to advance, you need to be physically present. There's some things the camera won't capture. Training is not just about learning, it's about your environment, it's about people you're learning with, it's about trying and being corrected. I dish out my online course for you, go and try it, you didn't get it, you come back to me and dish out another one, you didn't get it, you get frustrated, you stop. But when you're physically present, I put you through, you must get it. Like, it gives you a deeper understanding on because all my skills, I physically trained for them. Then if you want to maybe learn one or two upgraded innovations, you can go online, you can go on YouTube, you can do an online course and get it. So for me, I'll always recommend the physical training. Well, for me, what I need now is, I don't really need money. I need the platform to grow. I need the platform to be visible. Yes, I prefer visibility to cash, except when I get to a point whereby I can take loans that will scale up the business to where I want it to be. But for now, what I need from anybody is visibility, because if I'm visible, I will definitely make it. I used to have a personal logistic bike for my business until the government policy, like I said, crumbled it. It came out from nowhere and banned the bikes we use, and they asked us to buy a new bike, the 200cc bike, which was about 850,000. It was too pricey for me. I had to sell my old bike, and it wasn't even enough to buy a new one. And it has affected me because before, I give a discount on people that buy because it's my delivery company. But now I have to source for another delivery company that might not even deliver my goods at the right time, and it will affect my customer relationship. So logistics is a problem for me right now, which was not a problem before until the government policy brought it down. Communication. Like, I've encountered several challenging customers. There was one that was so angry that she wanted to lock my shop. I had to start with, I'm sorry, ma, it won't happen. And I had to compensate her. It was not really my fault, but I had to take responsibility. I had to give her free delivery. I had to remake the product for her at my own cost. Until today, she's like one of my most loyal clients. So every day, because people have different temperaments and different behavioral patterns, you encounter problematic clients, but it's the way you communicate. And then if you have structures, like I had one that brought back an item she bought, but I don't know, my receipts, goods received in good condition, there's no refund. She doesn't need it again. Because I had that structure, she didn't have any base to drag me, because you received it at so if I didn't have a receipt stating that, or sometimes if I'm training, I have contract statements under them to show this is not refundable. It's that you finish the training or you send someone to come and train for you. These are what will help to reduce some conflicts that might arise in future with clients. There was one I did, the last one I did, like I used to have someone working, so we go together. But sometimes if the number is not much, I go alone. I can take a group of 15 at once on my own. But if I'm doing more than that, I used to have someone, and I'm still trying to recruit someone, so I'll get there. And then if I don't get, I might outsource or bring in one of my students. Anybody that I've trained that is free can come on board with me to deliver. So my husband has been so supportive. I have a help, and then my husband is always around if I'm not around. Like, he fills in the gap in a very big way, and I'm so grateful for that, because I don't know how I would have coped. And then sometimes, even when I'm not around, if I don't have someone, I take them to my sister's place. So my family has helped. They've helped to cushion the effect of the stress that I would have if I didn't have them. Well, my husband is a civil servant. He does not do entrepreneurship, but he has contributed in the aspect of leveraging tech. He's more of a tech person. So sometimes he says, you have to learn how to use tech to scale up. You have to learn how to use this app. These are ways that he encourages me and puts me through. But in terms of being in the business, it's not his thing. The biggest problem in social media is people trusting their money with someone they don't know. If not that I even have physical store, some people, and I don't blame them, a lot of scammers are online. Like, I had to open a DOM account for one of my clients in US. She's like, I need your company account. I'm sure she must have had an experience. She paid someone in Nigeria, the person didn't deliver, and you can't catch the person because she's not. So a lot of problems with social media customers is fear to be scammed, and this is because there are a lot of scammers online, and this is what I'm still currently experiencing. But what gives me an added advantage, if you're not so you can send someone to my shop, like, I'm not a scam, I'm real. And then also having structures. Okay, I'm paying into her business account, I can actually track it in a way. Okay, her business is on Google, I can search for the address. So when you have all those things in place, it helps to reduce the fear someone will have. And then once in a while, I put out myself. Like, my page is not just about beads product. Like, you see my real face, you will see that I have kids. It gives them assurance that this person is not a scammer. We actually know how she looks, so even if she goes with her money, we can find her. So these are the major challenges we are facing with social media, because they don't know you, and it's difficult to trust in this era, especially with money. When I was starting, that I didn't have the knowledge I have now, I had a lot of debt. Some are still owing me till now, since 2014. Yes, and they've not even, family, aunties, uncles are still owing me, until I got to know about structures. Like, even when my dad walks in here, he will pay. I'll give him a receipt, or use POS or transfer before he leaves. Like, I don't do business with sentiment ever, because it almost wrecks me. Like, you're selling, but you're not seeing your money. And sometimes they might not even pay, or they will pay half. And when you're starting business, you're starting with family and friends, you don't have the mind to start threatening them, give my money. But all this would have been avoided if I had structures when I was starting. Because I don't do debts again. Like, you cannot buy on credit from me. If you're not ready, let me know when you're ready. I rather not sell than sell, and I'm not accounting. I'm not seeing the money coming to my account. Yeah, so that is the mistake I made, and it has wrecked a whole lot of businesses in Nigeria. Debtors is a no-no if you want to grow. Yes, no credits. Detach yourself from your company. That's what I did. Until it's not me, it's my company you're paying to. Detach. Your company has its own identity. You have your own identity. If you want to do a charity, sometimes last year I did a Christmas charity training for some youths and women. That's charity. But if you want to do business, tell them that it's not me you're paying to, and that's why you need structure. Like, I send you my business account, it's not my personal name. So by default, they know that this girl means business. She's serious. I can't owe her because I can't even pay to her directly. So by the time you explain to them like that, and with discipline, it's painful sometimes to see that somebody wants to buy something and you're not selling, no, and you're letting the person go without giving. But I rather have that product with me. The person who values it will pay for it. Yes, it's not easy, but it has to do with discipline. You have to be disciplined enough to say no. So many people don't know how to say no. For you to survive entrepreneurship, you have to be able to say no. You have to be able to be structured. You have to be able to be firm with people around you. Yes, and I'm sure they will understand. Yeah, my biggest advice is start small. I have so many friends like, babe, I want to start this, but I don't have the money. I'm like, but you have money for data. Start small. You can, if you keep waiting for when you have the bulk money, it might never come. But when you start, no matter how little, you have a drive to push. So don't wait for that. Make your plans realistic. Start from where you are. When I started, I didn't have a shop. I was operating from the house. I was even training people from the house. So start from where you are. That is my biggest advice to entrepreneurs. And then when you get to where you want to be consistent. Don't do today and you stop. Because consistency is a key to business. Your client doesn't want to hear, I'm no longer doing this again. No. Then after 6 months, I'm still doing it again. No. Like, they will not take you serious. That's another advice. Then secondly, be structured. Structure your business and invest in knowledge. Capacity building is a whole lot in entrepreneurship. Capacity building and networking. You need people to know what you're doing for them to patronize you. Yes, visibility.
At the end of this episode, I hope that we were able to learn beads making business in case you want to start up the business, and I hope we're able to see some of the challenges that comes with it, just in case you want to start up the business. Thank you for watching today's episode. See you next time on another interesting episode on Showcase. My name is Rahina Shehu Abdullahi. Bye for now.